not necessarily overactive in terms of the weather across the GTA today, with the exception of some winds. It's been rather windy. The wind started off from the southwest with peak wind gusts earlier today at around 45 kilometers an hour. Through the afternoon, the wind started to engage in from the north, and we're starting to see those wind gusts upwards of 60, almost 70 kilometers an hour. And in terms of the temperatures, a little bit better today if you're not a fan of the heat. Yesterday we had daytime highs around 27, feeling closer to 37. Today daytime highs around 24, feeling at times closer to 31, but it wasn't overly muggy. It felt closer to 30, 31. But as we step forward through the weekend, as we say hello to summer officially at 10:42 p.m. on Friday during the evening, it gets a whole lot muggier through the weekend and beyond. So we're expecting the potential of a heat wave. It's pretty much written in stone right now. We have daytime highs in the 30s, possibly the mid 30s as we get into Monday and Tuesday, and humidex values, because of that increasing amount of humidity, possibly making it feel closer to the 40s, and not much relief through the overnights as well. Overnight lows will be generally in the 20s. So we'll likely see a widespread heat warning from Environment Canada as we get into Saturday night. In terms of the active weather, most of the rainfall associated with our system continuing to move on through has been across Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, stretching all the way in towards Atlantic Canada. We have escaped with a bit of drizzle, a few pockets of showers, and it does look like we'll still have the opportunity to start the evening with a few showers, but as we get further into the evening hours, we dry out. We're still going to hold on to a decent amount of cloud cover through the overnight, and to start the day on Friday, there still is enough influence from an upper level system moving through to give us the opportunity for brief midday showers. It does look like they could move in late morning, continue into the early afternoon, then clear. I'm going to favor showers as opposed to thunderstorms. I can't completely rule out the odd rumble of thunder, but these would be weak thunderstorms if anything. Once we get into the evening, we start to dry out. Through the overnight, we start to see another opportunity for showers and a few thunderstorms moving on through, especially north and east of the city through the Kawarthas and in towards the northeastern shoreline of Lake Ontario. As we head into the day on Saturday, for the most part, I think that we'll escape with generally dry conditions, but there still is a lot of instability, and there has been a boundary basically directly through southern Ontario. It begins to lift northwards as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening, and that will allow the potential of more thunderstorms and maybe even some heavy rain closer to cottage country and into eastern Ontario Saturday night into early Sunday morning before it clears. Here's a look at the overnight lows for you. Generally in the teens for the most part. Comfortable. The air is going to be dry, so humidity not a factor tonight. You'll be able to open up your windows. The winds will become light through the overnight. Get that fresh air into the early morning. By the afternoon, temperatures should be peaking in generally the mid-20s in most areas. I have 27 for Toronto, with once again the potential of midday showers. As we get into the day on Saturday, only a degree higher, sure, but humidity levels begin to rapidly increase. So it will likely feel closer to the low to mid 30s, probably the mid 30s in most communities. Saturday night, we're holding on to 22. That's why I think the heat warning would be issued sometime during the day on Saturday. By Sunday, we have the opportunity to see highs around 33, feeling closer to 42 under mostly sunshine. Brilliant sunshine for Monday. Obviously, the UV index is going to be very high, and the humidity will make it feel closer to 43. So if you're going to be working outside or maybe doing some activities, sports, etc., Sunday and into Monday, remember the sunscreen and remember to stay hydrated. Into Tuesday, it looks dry to start. There is a cold front moving through that will spark up showers and isolated, potentially strong to severe thunderstorms because of all that heat and humidity. It's still going to feel like 42. Once we get into Wednesday, cooler, less humid, it's going to feel like 33. Once we get into Thursday, we have highs around 25 with a chance of scattered showers. If you're a fan of the heat, obviously Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is going to be for you. Me, myself, I don't necessarily love the heat, so I'm not necessarily going to be loving that stretch. It's only a brief stretch, but of course, summer has just begun once we get into Friday at 10:42 p.m. Got a long summer, and the likelihood of more heat is obviously going to be almost a guarantee.